You're welcome to the NIGERIan Football Show. And since this is about NIGERIan football, I'll be putting on my NIGERIan cap. So let's dive straight into it. So first, there have been a lot that's gone on in the past weeks concerning Nigerian football players, concerning the national team, concerning Nigeria wonder kids that left Nigeria and joined clubs in Europe. So in today's show, I'll be focusing in on those events and giving my opinions, my 2 cents on those various events. So we'll dive straight into it. First off, we're talking about Victor Osimhen. That's where we must start. We all know about his failed move to Chelsea. The parties himself and Chelsea and his agents couldn't come to an agreement as to his weekly wages. And for me, when I heard some of the figures that were banded around saying 68,000 pounds, I was just like, that's silly. That's silly talk. That's stupid, in my opinion, and unfair because people say João Felix took a pay cut, so Victor Osimhen should take a pay cut, but they refuse to give context. João Felix was on £200,000 a week, and he took a pay cut to £180,000 a week, while Victor Osimhen is on £207,000 a week, and then he was expected to take a pay cut of, I think it was between that £68,000 and £128,000. So you can imagine how far it was, like the distance. So for me that was crazy town, in my opinion. So for me, though I want Victor Osimhen to play, it was just not something that was fair in my opinion. So let's just see what happens. But today we've got some news about Victor Osimhen, and it seems to be good news. It seems he'll be doing his dance. It seems like he'll be doing some celebration because he'll be having some. He'll be able to play if the reports are anything to go by. Because we've heard from Fabrice Hawkins, and then I think Fabrizio Romano, whilst I was preparing to record, has also sort of confirmed this that Galatasaray, the Turkish side, are in talks with Victor Osimhen and negotiations with Napoli, to take him on loan, a season-long loan with no obligation or option to buy, and they'll be covering his salary, I think, between 9 and 10 million euros. So I think that's closer to what he was wanting to get from Chelsea, and that's what he'll be getting for the year. So I think some people have been complaining about Victor Osimhen to say, is this not a downgrade from Chelsea? Admittedly, it's a downgrade from Chelsea, but you have to make the best of a bad situation, in my opinion. Because the way it is right now, what are you going to do? I'm just going to sit at home and not playing any games and just be at home and not do anything and just only play during international games till the entire season is over, because we all know Conte. Conte is a very stubborn coach, a world-class coach, but very stubborn as well. So when he's made his mind up, and that's it. So he said Victor Osimhen is not going to be reintegrated into the team, that nobody will be reintegrated into the team, and that's it. That's it for anybody who is not part of his plans. Lukaku scored the other day in his debut for Napoli, so often everything is well with them. So there's no room for Victor Osimhen. So at least for me, you go to Galatasaray, you play, you score goals, lots of goals. Who knows? You could also have a recall option in the loan clause or loan contract, and then by January your situation can be revisited again, 6 months time, and then you could have maybe Chelsea or other interested clubs negotiate with Napoli to get a deal done. Or if that doesn't happen, you play for Galatasaray to the end of the season. Maybe you score 20 plus goals in the Turkish league, plus I think play in the Champions League if I'm not mistaken, and your stock could rise even higher. It could rise higher from where it is at least at the minute. So at least it's better than just sitting on the bench, in my humble opinion. So that's it for Victor Osimhen. I'm very happy, very happy for him. He needs his spirits to be up, and let's see what he does. Let's see how it develops. And sure thing, I'll give my 2 cents on it when the deal is finally done. So that's it for Victor Osimhen heading to um, Galatasaray. And now we come back to Nigerian stuff. We come back to the Super Eagles. Now, at first, we had an announcement that Bruno Labbadia, the German coach, was going to take up the coaching reins for the Super Eagles. And I was like, okay, for the first time, you brought a coach. He may not be the top echelon or the top echelon of coaches, but at least you've got a coach that's actually coached recently and coached in the top flight league recently, not his last time he coached was in the 1990s. And you didn't go to one of those old names that are always hanging around African countries. So I was happy about that. And then few days to the tournament, first of all, it took them a very long time from February when they sacked Finidi George. It took them a very, very, very long time to appoint this coach, just a couple of days to the qualifiers. And the list was brought out, which I'll be talking about later on during the show. So just stick around for that one if you know what I think about the list. So Bruno Labbadia was appointed. We said, okay, let's see what's going to happen. The list came up. Then I was saying this list is just a recycling of old names. And some folks rightly said that probably this list was not a list put out by Bruno Labbadia. So, and then we're expecting to see what's this guy going to do. And then we hear something different. That Bruno Labbadia is no longer going to be the coach of the Nigerian Super Eagles. He'll be leaving. That he won't be taking up. He won't be coaching the team. And what were the reasons that the NFF gave? They say, we had some problems. The German tax law. We have to pay 40% of his tax, and things like that. So my question is, didn't they do their groundwork? When you're going to appoint a coach, appoint someone or employ someone to work for you, you should do your groundwork. You should know everything about the financials. But I don't think they did their groundwork. I just think let's just hurry up and scribble and get this done. So Bruno Labbadia insisted that they pay his income tax as in accordance with German law, and they didn't want to do it. They said it was above their budget, so they pulled out. And so, what does that mean for us? What does that mean for Nigerians and Super Eagles? It means at this minute there is no actual coach, but Augustine Eguavon, a technical director at the NFF, has been appointed as an interim coach. Appointed a couple of coaches from the Nigerian Domestic League as his assistants. So for me, this doesn't look good. This doesn't look good, and especially when we're in a time when we have to win all our games. Super Eagles were being in an easy group for the World qualifiers and the Nation Cup qualifiers, and have had very bad performances. We've drawn and we've lost, and you're expecting to go into the next phase of qualifying games starting on the 7th. I think it's game Rwanda or Benin Republic, and then you go on to have such a mess. You don't have any coach in situ. We have as an interim coach. You're not sure if he will be there or he'll be leaving, and that's who you have as a coach. For me, that is just unacceptable, but that's what we have to deal with. That's what we have to do. So I wonder how we're going to qualify. I wonder what we're going to do, what the team is going to look like. What are your opinions on this? If you're not a Nigerian watching, what do you think about this absolute mess that's going on? If you're Nigerian watching, how can we save ourselves? What can be done? Because for me, it's so embarrassing and so sad because the Nigerian talent pool is so deep, so wide. Both the ones that are, have dual nationalities rather, and ones who are just mainly Nigerian, just have a single nationality. The talent pool is so deep. I don't know why we just can't get our acts right. The coaches, the NFF just keep messing things about. So now I'll go on and I'll look at the list and I'll give you my opinion, and then I'll talk about some other topics before I come back to give you the kind of starting 11 I expect Augustine Eguavon to put out come the 7th of September. So right now, I'll dive into the list. Now, this is the list. Stanley Nwabali. This is Chippa United, I think, in South Africa. He just extended his contract. Maduka Okoye plays for Udinese in Italy, and then Obas Osage. I think he plays in the Nigerian domestic league. And then who do we have here? Well, Alex Iwobi. We've got Frank Onyeka, Alan Al Hassan Yusuf, Wilfred Ndidi, Fisayo Dele Bashiru, Ralph Onyedika, and we have the forwards Ademola Lukman, Samuel Chukwueze, Victor Osimhen, of course, Moses Simon, Kelechi Iheanacho that just joined Sevilla this transfer window, Taiwo Awoniyi, Victor Boniface, and then for defenders, we've got William Trust Ekong, who's in the Saudi League as well, Sami Ajayi, Calvin Bassey, that plays for Fulham, Bright Osai Samuel, Bruno Onyemachi, that plays for Boa Vista in Portugal. So this is the list. As you can see, some names are just recycled, and for me, some names shouldn't be there. For instance, in the midfield, I don't think we should have Iwobi there, in my opinion. Alex Iwobi, I don't think he should be there. I would have much preferred us to have Chris Santos instead, Uche Chris Santos that plays for Getafe. I think he should have been there. Al Hassan Yusuf definitely should not be in this lineup, in my opinion. He hasn't done enough to be here. But there you have it. That's what we've come to sort of expect. Unfortunately, you keep seeing names recycled over and over again, even in situations where they're not the best we can get at them, for the national team. So it's just poor, in my opinion. So I will be coming back to give you my unstarting lineup. So just wait for that and stick to the end. So, but to talk in terms of transfers, speaking about transfers, there have been Nigerian wonder kids that have made move to Europe, to the French League On, to be precise. Like I said, the Nigerian talent pool is very, very deep. You have the Super Eagles. You have the academies in Nigeria. You have the ones that are also playing in England and have dual nationalities, playing in Spain, all over the world. It's deep. It's so deep. I don't know why they can refuse to take advantage of it. It's so deep. Noni Madueke will be lost to England because I think he's been called up to play in international games. So maybe he may decide to switch to be in the English national team and just make that permanent. But we have a lot of talent in Nigeria as it is. There's Jude Sunday. I was doing a feature on Jude Sunday on this channel when I was doing NIGERIAN. He plays for AS Tristan. He's a special talent, in my opinion. So if you look at Beyond Limits, for instance, an academy in Nigeria, I don't have anything to do with them. I just see what they do and appreciate what they do. So look at talents that they create, like Arehi Parabo. Wonderful talent. Onyebuchi Obasi that's left them and is joined Valerenga, as a Norwegian club, if I'm not mistaken. So you have talents everywhere. It's just sad that the NFF and football administrators are unable to, harness this talent, because the Nigerian Super Eagles could be world beaters if the talents are properly harnessed. So I'll talk about some of these talents now. These boys have just moved. I don't know if you remember this guy, Hafiz Umar Ibrahim. He was on trial at Chelsea. It's a bit of a mystery. He was on trial at Chelsea, and everyone. I was excited. Oh, this is a young Nigerian who come on trial for Chelsea. Let's see. And he was meant to be a wonder kid. He's supposedly impressed at the trials, and no one heard of him. And no one heard of him. Sometimes I watch one of those youth games. I didn't see him though, so I was wondering where he was doing his trials and all that with the club, but he wasn't signed. And I was, what's going on with this guy? Why hasn't he been signed? Why are we not hearing anything? I'll go on Fabrizio Romano's page. I'll look. I'll check everywhere. Check all the sources I could check, but nothing. So it's very, very good news. I've heard that he signed with Stade Reims in France. I don't know whether it's a 3-year deal, but or a permanent deal. He signed with them. I just hope that it's for the first team, because sometimes you sign with these clubs and you go to academy and you disappear and you don't really play that much. So this is a wonderful talent. We won the kid. If he was Brazilian, he would have gone for a lot higher, and a lot of clubs would have been, falling over his signature. That's just it. And that's one thing with Nigerian talent, they're not properly promoted. And that's one thing this channel is for, to give my objective opinion on everything and also talk about Nigerian talent as well. So I wish him all the best, and I know in future good things would come from him. So keep an eye out for this talent, and I'll be keeping an eye out on this talent, and as well as giving you my opinion on his daily development as well. So let me know in the comment section what you think about the topic so far I've discussed. And also don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and do share it as well. If you haven't subscribed to the channel. It would mean a lot to me. And like the video as well, help with the algorithm on this channel. So we keep on going. We keep on going right now. And the next guy I want to talk about is Adesina or Oyedele. Adesina or Oyedele. Now, this guy plays for Beyond Limits. He used to play rather for Beyond Limits, an academy in Nigeria. And now he's moved finally to Lille, inside the French Ligue 1 side, Lille, and inside a 5-year contract. So happy for him. He's moved, pacey, dynamic striker, dynamic player. So I hope it comes good. And once again, I hope that he actually is signing for the first team and not for some academy or an affiliate team where he disappears. But it seems to me that he's signing for Lille, and maybe he starts out with the academy and let's see. But hopefully, I want to see in next year that he's playing for the first team, because since the French Ligue 1 is a league where clubs sell their players so quickly, then that means there should be room for him to play first team football, because that's what we want to see. Like I said, the Nigerian talent pool is so deep, and so wide. It's so rich with players in all positions, from goalkeeping to the attack. So many talents. And I say, subscribe to this channel and keep your eyes on for Next Gen NIGERIAN, a show where I'll be talking about the next Nigerian superstars that are coming out whether from the Nigerian domestic scene as well as the other leagues all over the world. So he's a dynamic player that made a move, a wonder kid that made a move to Lille, and I wish him the best. And hopefully, in the coming years, he gets to play for the Super Eagles and also become a household name in Europe. So now I wonder what you think on the topics that I've made so far. Also on the chats, say Victor Osimhen. Osimhen, Europe's biggest team in Galatasaray. And that's good. And to be fair, Galatasaray are one of the biggest teams. I know people like to only focus on the Premier League, Serie A, and maybe the Spanish La Liga as well. But when you talk about footballing culture, passionate fans, the Turkish league is right up there. So you have Fenerbahce, you have Galatasaray as well. It will do him no harm to play Galatasaray, given the situation that how it is. If he goes there, plays in Champions League or play European football, that will do his stock a lot of good. Apart, because it's better than being at home, sitting at home, and no one knows what's going on with you. Because unlike in life, in football, absence does not make the heart go fonder. Because in football and in sport, it's a culture of what have you done for me lately. If you're not there, if you're out of mind, no one will look at you. No one will be thinking about you. No one remember the 26 goals you scored in the season Napoli won the league. No one will remember the 17 goals you scored in 25 appearances. No one will remember those things. So you have to update your resume every day. Every time you have to update your resume. So I'm indeed very happy. I'll be very happy if this pulls through, though I wanted him to join Chelsea as a Chelsea fan, but didn't work out. I'm a Nigerian, want him to succeed, go to Galatasaray, be great, score lots of goals, compete for the title, even win the title, and then your stock goes even higher than it's at the minute. So let me know what your thoughts and opinions are on the various topics. What do you think about the Bruno Labbadia situation? What do you, what do you think about the fact that we don't really have a coach? All we have is an interim manager or something of the sort. You know, what do you think about the whole Nigerian situation? What do you think about the squad list as well? Are you happy with the people invited? Would you have wanted to see more names, newer faces? For instance, I want to pose this question to people who may be watching this videos in this channel as well. What do you think about inv- working on players with dual nationality to get them to represent Nigeria? The thing is, people sometimes you have some Nigerians who go, "Oh no, we want the ones who are born in Nigeria that know the Nigerian culture." Blah, blah, blah. No, on the football field, there's only one culture. Whether you speak Spanish, you speak Italian, you speak Japanese, English. On the pitch, the culture is one. Is one culture. Every other thing you talk about is not important. It's not important what you do on the pitch, how you dribble, how you cross the ball, how you take the shot, technique, tactics. That's the culture on the pitch. No one wants to know whatever else you're talking about. And look at France. Look at France. Whether the talent is born in France, born in China, born in India, born in Cameroon, as long as you're eligible to play for France and you have the quality, and you have indeed the quality to, play and contribute for France, you're called up. You're given the opportunity to play. And France has a very deep talent pool, which they're accessing. Let me ask you this. How many countries in the world do you think for the Euros would be able to leave a player like Christopher Nkunku at home? Or leave a player like Malo Gusto at home and not take him with them to the Euros? How many of them? Not many. But France, because of the depth of their talent pool, they are able to allow players recover from injury. They don't need to rush players back because they have a very deep talent pool with the access. Nigeria, we don't do that. We look for reasons that are not even important. One thing I want Nigerians to do, or Nigerian Football Federation to do, is to become obsessed with winning. Obsessed. If you're not obsessed with winning, you will never win any world. You will never win a World Cup. You will not win the Nations Cup again. You need to be obsessed with winning and commit yourself to anything that contributes to winning. And one thing that contributes to winning is having the best talent available, the best talent you can get. If it's in Convince Noni Madueke, Samuel Edozie that plays for Southampton to join the team, you have to do it. You have to do it now. Now let's go on to look at my starting XI for the qualifiers that are coming up. So I want to know what you think. I want to know your thoughts and opinions. Leave it in the chats in the comment section. So I'm going with a 4-4-2. It can be a 4-2-2 because I know the last time Guavon coached this team, he played a 4-2-2-2. And so for me at left back, we'll go with Bruno Yemachi to play for Boa Vista. And then centre back pairing, I'll go for William Troost Ekong, Samuel Ajayi, or Semi Ajayi, and Olaina as right back. Because for me, I think this is the best available at the minute. Not best available, scratch that, not the best available, but based on the list. Because for me, Ugo Ogbu, that plays for Sparta Prague, is a phenomenal centre back. Phenomenal centre back. When I saw him play, watched some clips of him, I just said to myself, this is Nigeria's version of Antonio Rudiger. The aggression, the power, the pace, the passing, the switch of play. I said, this is Nigeria's version of Antonio Rudiger, Ugo Ogbu. Check after this video. You can check his video. You can check some of his compilations and have a look, have a watch, or go on Y Scout, and watch his play. You see that's a phenomenal centre back, that would add a lot to this team, but for whatever reason, he's not been invited. So let's see how it goes. Hopefully, in the future, he's invited as well. And then Caleb Okoli, though he has played in underage competitions for Italy and has not represented Nigeria before, but I think if the NFF are serious, I think they can get him to switch nationalities and play for Nigeria. Because I have been in situations where I've discussed with some young players, you know, some time ago, I've discussed with them, talked with them. Many of them that are dual nationality, that have dual nationalities, want to play for Nigeria, but it's just that the NFF doesn't approach them in the right manner. So that's what happens. So Igor Ugu should be someone that should have been invited to this team. He's 24, so he's not a kid. He's not a kid. So he's mature enough to be in this team. And as well as Tosin Adara Bayo, not Bayoyo. I don't know where people get the additional YO from. Engineer Adara Bayo. I plays for Chelsea. I think he should be approached. I think I heard some news about the NFF approaching him to switch nationalities to Nigeria, or him being open to playing for the Super Eagles in Nigeria. I think that's something that the NFF and football administration should take seriously. Try and get him to play for the Super Eagles, because what you want to get the best talents possible. Reach everywhere, whether it's talent from within the shores of Nigeria, or talents in France, talents in England, talents anywhere you can get, to make sure you have the best squad, not just 11. Because sometimes the way people talk, they sound like you only need 11 players to win a tournament or to win a league. You need a squad of players so you can switch things around tactically, and you can also rest players and things like that. So for me, Caleb Okoli and Igor Obu should have been invited to this team, and I think the NFF should do all they can to get them involved in this team. And then in terms of Olaina, yeah, he's just out and out the one we should rely on at this minute. Bruno Yemachi is good as well, but I think although what I'm about to talk about is a youngster, played for Crystal Palace. I think currently he's on loan as well. He's Adara Mola. I think that's someone that should be looked at as well as Patrick Dogu. He's another one that should be looked at closely. These are two phenomenally talented young left fullbacks, or left wing backs. These are people that I think NFF should look at as well. And then we go on to the midfield. We'll start with the wingers. Ademola Lookman. We had rumors that probably he'll be joining PSG or Arsenal, but I don't think that move really materialized. So he's still with Atlanta. So for me, I think he's good because he was in very good form this past season. Scored a hat-trick in the Europa League final. That's phenomenal, and I think he's in line, at least in competition, for the African best, and he will be deserving if he indeed wins it. And in terms of who I could get to play there, Samuel Edozie of Southampton. I think now he's on loan to Rangers. At least we had talked that he was going to be loaned to Rangers in the Scottish League. That would be another good addition, at least to give some competition to Ademola Lookman, because he's pacey, he's skillful. That's the kind of player that we should look for. The Nigerian Super Eagles should be looking for, should try to get on your books. You have to make an effort. You have to let the player tell you, I don't want to play for you. Let the player say, oh, I don't want to play for you. Because you have to take advantage of every tool you have. Be obsessed with winning, in my opinion. So for me, but at the minute on the flank, I'll have Ademola Lookman. And then in the heart of the midfield for me would be Raf Onyedika and Frank Onyeka. Those are the two people who have in the midfield. For me, Alex Iwobi does not make this team, in my opinion. He's done very well in time past, but I think the last Nations Cup just showed me something. If you're playing a two-man midfield, Alex Iwobi has no business being in the team. He doesn't have the energy to go to press. He doesn't have the energy to run box to box, because a two-man midfield is a torrid task. Being in a two-man midfield is a torrid task. Long busting runs, back and forth, high energy play. It will be sort of fizzles out in that sort of team. So I'll be going with Rafa Medika and Frank Onyeka. And now, speaking of players that could have could have played in this position, at least contributed to this team in the midfield, for me, Leslie Ugochukwu is a special player in my opinion. Right now, he's on loan to Southampton. I think he played in some of the friendly games for the Thierry Henry-led Olympic side. He played in some of their friendly games. I think he wasn't taken to the main tournament. So for me, I think that's another player. I think he's 6'4", tall, has energy, can go box to box, coast to coast, two-way player. So I think he's a player that this NFF should be working night and day to ensure he joins the team. Because for me, I'm tired of just being a nice color. Oh, these Africans, they add color to the tournament. No, we should be looking at competing, going toe to toe. Enough of, oh, they're just nice. Oh, look at the colors. Oh, they shine so much, so bright. No, 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 no. You should be looking to actually compete, worry people, look like you're going to win, go to the final, third place match of a World Cup. So it's not to just brighten the tournament. You should want to win. You shouldn't just be like you escorted people or you just followed people to the tournament. You should actually be someone who's a threat. And the talent depth of the Super Eagles is too deep to just be a team that goes to the tournament, finish, and then loses out, come back home after the group stage. No, no, no. It should be a team that actually that looks like they can win, in my opinion. In my humble opinion. So Leslie Ugochukwu is someone that should be in this midfield, as well as Uche Crisantos. He just signed for Getafe, and I think he scored on his debut and had a decent performance as well in in this weekend's game. And I think he should also be part of this team as well. And I'm happy that Dele Bashiru, as well, is at least in the squad. And so these are people we need in the midfield for me. Al Hassan Yusuf and Alex Iwobi should be nowhere. I mean, nowhere. With all due respect to them, they're fine professionals. I probably can, no, not probably. I actually cannot run with them on the pitch because I'm not a professional footballer. But when you talk about footballers that can contribute to the team, no. Alex Iwobi, Al Hassan Yusuf, you're good players, but no, I think their time should be done at the Super Eagles, in my opinion. And then on the other flank as well, I'll be going with Samuel Chukwueze. Samuel Chukwueze, he has everything for me: pace, skill, but for me sometimes he overdoes things. Sometimes he has the opportunity to free up somebody with a pass, and then he wants to shoot. So he is a very good player, has all the skills, has the ability, but sometimes his decision making lets him down. But for me, based on what we have in the squad list, I think he's the best to start. And in his position, I think Noni Madueke would have been a fine addition, a fine addition, to give him competition, to either push him. Because sometimes when you know that you're the first name on the team sheet, sometimes it's difficult for you to motivate yourself. But when you know that I may be good, but I'm not the first name on the team sheet. I'm not the first name on the team sheet, or this other guy that's on the team as well could push me out, could come and by performance, push me out of the team. So when you have that kind of person in the team, you motivate yourself to play. You push yourself to play. So in my opinion, that is what needs to happen. Noni Madueke is someone that could actually play there, in my opinion. And this young lad, I know he's still at the early stages of his career. He's just 19 years old, I think 18 years old. He's in Valerega now. Onyebuchi Obasi, a skillful, pacey winger as well. I know he's still very young and maybe a step too far to bring him in at the minute. But I think sometimes you just bring these kids into the camp to gain the experience of being part of the team, of be participating in qualifiers, see how professionals train, how senior level professionals train, how they carry themselves, what they do, their nutrition habits, what it feels like to be in the team, feel the atmosphere, and maybe who knows, some games you might be winning 5-0. If the Super Eagles have their act together, some games you could be winning 5-0, 6-0, 5 minutes to go, you give them a cap. For me. So, but for now, I'll be going with Samuel Chukwueze, in on this other flank. Now, for the two strikers, there's no argument, there's no gainsaying the names we have in there. We're having Victor Boniface and none other than Victor Osimhen as well as the two attackers. Now, Victor Osimhen, whatever people want to say, I've seen people criticize Victor Osimhen all through this transfer saga. I've seen people demean his value, all over X, Facebook, wherever. People have demeaned his value, try to bring down his value. But for me, I've watched the kid since he was 16, 17 years old. So no one can tell me anything about Victor Osimhen. If you think he's not a good striker, that's for you and yourself. You go home and you sleep. And then as well, it's not one of those things where, when he was a kid, he was very, very good. Now he's not. No, right, even right now. And any Nigerian that criticizes Victor Osimhen's play on the pitch should go home and sleep. You find a nice bed, get a nice cushion, and sleep. Because Victor Osimhen, each time his feet touches the pitch, wearing the green, white, green of the Super Eagles, we all see how he plays. Even at the AFCON, I think was it the quarterfinals? I think when he played against the Super Eagles played against Cameroon. I was scared for Victor Osimhen in that game because he ran himself into the ground. Look at his pressing. He didn't score, but he set up one of the goals, and his pressing made life difficult for the Cameroonian defenders. He kept running non-stop all through. High energy football, high octane football. That's why I'm sad he didn't join Chelsea. But that aside, look at his pressing, high pressing football, high octane football, pressing, making life very difficult. Like I say, how I judge strikers. Yeah, two things. First, you must score goals. That's the number one thing. Scoring goals. Number one function of a striker. Score goals. Then the second thing, if you aren't scoring goals, if maybe you're having a tough day, a tough tournament, what else do you do to contribute to your team winning? And Victor Osimhen, you can see what he contributes: his pace, his energy, his pressing, and his leadership skill as well. Look at how he makes people better. When his players are down, he's the one that picks them up. So a phenomenal striker in my mind. So Victor Osimhen goes in there, and Victor Boniface, part of the, almost immortal or eternal Bayer Leverkusen side that went a whole season in the Bundesliga unbeaten, and would have even done it in Europa League, but they lost the final in sort of a shocking and surprising fashion to Serie A's Atalanta. So these are the people I'll be going with, in terms of the strikers, based on people available or rather in the squad. But for strikers, I'd like to talk about strikers. Nigerian talent pool for strikers is so deep that some names I'll call that you may not know, but they're super, super talented. There's Victor Olatunji that plays for Sparta Prague. Sparta Prague, powerful striker. There's Rafi Durushimi. He plays in the Czech league as well. He would have moved to Frankfurt, but I think there's an issue during the medical, so the transfer didn't happen. But another phenomenally talented player. There is Tolu Akolodele that plays for Ghent as well. Another phenomenally talented striker, pace, power, energy, strength. So these are players that I'll be featuring on subsequent shows of the Nigerian football shows. So keep your eyes peeled on this channel. If you haven't subscribed, do subscribe to the channel, smash the like button, and share this video as well. So this is the squad I'll be going with. Let me know your thoughts and opinions about this squad list. Would you want someone? Are there people that are on the list that you feel shouldn't be there? And who would you have added to this list? Who would you have invited, to this team? For me, I would have not, like I said, I wouldn't have had Iwobi on here. So What's your take even on Iwobi? Do you think Iwobi should even be in this team? Do you think I'm too harsh on Iwobi? Do you think I'm too harsh on Al Hassan Yusuf? Because for me, I feel Al Hassan Yusuf has no business being being on here. So at this point, I've come to the end of today's video, and I'll be seeing you on yet another video. So have a good day, stay blessed, and God bless.